Good morning. We're here today with Nigel Sycamore, founder of Clean Workplace Solution Limited. Good morning, Nigel.
Good morning.
Can you please introduce yourself and Clear Workplace Solutions, please?
Yeah, of course. I'm Nigel Sycamore. I'm qualified as an independent financial advisor, and I have a business called Clear Wealth Management that looks after that side of things. But this morning we're talking about Clear Workplace. We look after pensions for companies. Since about 2012, companies have had to provide a pension for their employees. The legislation around it is quite complicated. Many firms are keen to get the best outcomes for their colleagues, and we step in and help them get the right solution in place and manage it correctly for them.
Fantastic. Well, now, like you just said, workplace pension and automatic enrollment are now pretty much well established, usually within large employers. And how can middle-sized companies benefit from your services?
I think that's a really, really good question. I think that, when this legislation came in, the big companies had HR departments, maybe they had even a pension department to look after it. At SME level, it was another job that had to be done, and a burden, if you like. And it landed on the desk of maybe the payroll person, maybe the accountant, maybe the finance director. In a way, in some cases, it was rushed. The implementation sometimes, not in all cases, but sometimes wasn't as careful and considered as it might have been, because these people have businesses to run and day-to-day jobs that this landed on top of. So I think it's a good time for the smaller companies to reflect on what they did. Of course, the market's changed as well, because it does. People may not be driving the car that they were driving in 2014, and it's the same with pensions. It changes. So lots of new options out there. So I think the main things we're looking at are, for the employees, there's what is known in the industry as an advice gap. And what that means is, if you've got lots of money, you can quite easily obtain quality, independent financial advice as an individual. If you haven't got so much money, or if you're just starting to accumulate some retirement savings, obtaining that advice is difficult, because quite naturally, advisors tend to cherry pick the wealthier clients. Wealthier clients mean bigger fees.
Yeah.
And the banks have essentially pulled out of financial advice. No insurance companies come to your door anymore for financial advice. So there's that advice gap. And I believed right from the start of the workplace pensions legislation that the future of mass market financial advice was through the workplace. So we want to help employees bridge that advice gap. There's pressure on employees. There's a national insurance contribution rise. There's fuel costs going through the roof. If we can, deliver in a really effective way to lots and lots of employees some simple guidance on how they can manage their money, plan for their retirement, I think that's a great thing for an employer to provide. So that's, in the mix as to how we can help the smaller firms. But the firms themselves, if they structure the pension correctly, can make large savings on national insurance contributions. It's not to the detriment of the employee. Again, 83, I think, % of the FTSE 350 companies use this method. It's called salary sacrifice. We like to call it pensions optimization. 83% of the bigger companies use this perfectly legal mechanism to save national insurance contributions. The SMEs don't. We see very few that have it in place. So we've got a situation where we can save the employer national insurance, save the employee national insurance, help the employees to understand a little bit more about their money. And then the final piece of the jigsaw, again, very relevant in the news with the COP26 summit. Lots of companies are looking to reduce their carbon footprint. Well, you wouldn't think so, but there are net zero workplace pensions on the market now. That's a very easy way that a company can make significant inroads into reducing their carbon footprint. So those are the ways that I think we can help, the companies who don't have the in-house teams to look at this sort of thing. And I think for all those factors we've mentioned, for national insurance cost increases for both employees and employers, financial pressure on employees, and the climate change being top of people's agenda, I think those are very much areas where we can make a real difference, and hopefully help as many people as we can.
I completely agree. Like you said, large companies, sometimes they tend to have their own internal employees who would know things about what you just said. But smaller companies who might not necessarily have the purchasing power to actually hire a full-time person, then they do miss out on these kind of opportunities. So it's, absolutely. I think you're doing a fantastic job. So based on what you just said, where do you see the company in the next couple of years? And what do you plan, or how do you plan to achieve this objective?
It's a really exciting time for us. We mentioned there the opportunities we have. We want to help as many people as we can with this. So the future sort of starts now, really. We started to, we've expanded our office premises just over to my right here. That's going to be ready for the new year. So we've got more space. That more space will be used for a kind of modest size contact area. We've got up to 4 people coming in the new year. That's going to help customers who need service, who want to dial us. It's going to help us reach out to people. So that's the immediate future. And longer term, I think that if I'm right in my belief that the workplace is going to be the home for mass market financial advice, then I think the future is us. I can't jump in my car and go around and see all the employees that we manage pensions for. It's not possible. So I think we're looking more at digital solutions. We're looking at video solutions. It's more education now. Financial advice in the past was always about sales, but I think that the education piece is going to be important. I think that we can deliver that effectively online, interactively, via video, and with some workplace presence as well. So I think that's where I'd like to see it go, and I'd like to see us be the trusted partner for employers and employees going on to choose us for a variety of help, be that from mortgages to investments, insurances, whatever it is. I think there's lots of scope in that area, and if the seed for that, if the starting point for that is that the employer can facilitate it, and because we can save money for the employer, they can facilitate it at no cost to them, then I think that's a fantastic opportunity for us, and hopefully some of your viewers or some employers in Yorkshire will view it as a great opportunity for them to come and talk to us as well.
Okay, so in other words, talk to the experts.
Well, hopefully, absolutely, and we're always happy to help.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Nigel. Please contact Nigel directly at Clean Workplace Solutions and see and discuss how he could potentially help your companies. Thank you very much.
That's great, Andrea. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.